Well, I was laying my head down at night last night. A little text message pops through the group from Gump about Timmy Peel, the referee
R.I.P.
who has been an NHL official since October of '99. He's done over 1,300 games, called a few playoff series. I don't think he ever made it to a Stanley Cup final. Wasn't that good at his job. Has been axed and relieved of his duties because of a hot mic clipped him talking to the Nashville Predators bench. So I want to play the clip now so everybody is on the same page here. We know what we're talking about.
It wasn't much, but I wanted to get a fucking penalty against Nashville early in the...
That's it. That little innocuous 7-second clip goes out over the broadcast, and everyone goes, what was that? Did I hear that right? It blows up all over Twitter. No one knew who it was at first. We did find out later in the night it was Tim Peel. And if you know anything about Tim Peel, I'll give you a little bit of background on him. He is well known in hockey Twitter circles, especially the online community, for a lot of gaffes in games. He's not what you would call the most decorated and prolific official that the NHL had.
You can say it, Nick. You can say it.
Why don't you say it? You are a notorious ref hater. I feel good about you saying it. Go ahead.
He stinks. I mean, why? I don't understand these referees, dude. Like, just figure out the fucking game, man.
Simply put, he stinks. Hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Save it. I know you're upset. I want to give you the background though. Like Greg Wyshynski, Greg Wyshynski used to write at Puck Daddy. He's now the big hockey writer at ESPN.com. Okay, he used to have a series of blogs, basically the adventures of Tim Peel, terrible NHL referee. There used to be tweets that were Tim Peel alerts was a thing on Twitter. Anytime Tim Peel fucked something up, you'd see Tim Peel alert coming across Twitter. Everyone jump all over it. So this guy's well known. He actually met Wish, who was one of his biggest critics, out at a bar, I believe, in New York or New Jersey back in 2015 before Peel was reffing a Devils game. Wish, obviously, a Devils fan. The NHL found out about it because someone took a picture of it. They were ripping shots in the bar, kind of meeting to make amends and just kind of, tell each other both sides of the story, how each other felt. Just, when you write about someone for so long, it's always, it can create a different perspective whenever you actually meet them in person. So he went out of his way to meet Wish. People took pictures. The NHL found out about him. They suspended him that game back in 2015. Now he's out, right? This clip comes out last night of him basically admitting to the world what a lot of us already knew, that makeup calls exist and are a huge part of hockey games, game flow, culture, really, in terms of officiating and the gameplay. So when I heard it, I wasn't super shocked about him saying it. I was like, I assumed this happened a lot more than most people think, and I got confirmation of that judging by a lot of reactions on Twitter to this, especially from former players. What surprised me was how swiftly the NHL reacted, because they are known to drag their feet on a lot of things. This happened last night. By the time we woke up this morning, got into work, the NHL put out their statement that Tim Peel was done. He would no longer ref a game in the NHL again. And it's followed up by a statement from Colin Campbell, who's Executive Vice President of Hockey Ops. He said, "Nothing's more important than ensuring the integrity of our game. Tim Peel's conduct is in direct contradiction to the adherence to that cornerstone principle that we demand of our officials and our fans, players, coaches, and all those associated with our game expect and deserve. There's no justification for his comments, no matter the context or his intention, and the NHL will take any and all steps necessary to protect the integrity of our game." Now, with him putting that out there, them firing Tim Peel, is this enough to kind of wash away the quote-unquote stain of acknowledging, essentially, that makeup calls in the game exist and have always been there, and swing momentum and potentially modify outcomes of games?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think when it comes to players, when it comes to fans, they sit there and they want trust. They want trust that there's exactly what they said. There's going to be integrity, right? And the integrity of the game is that we're going to sit there and we're going to call the game exactly how we see it as a referee. And nothing's going to create a bias, right? And so here we are, and this one little statement comes out, and now you have to question everything. You have to question if there's more refs doing it. You have to question.
There are.
I mean, heck, you could even sit there and question bets, right? I mean, you have to sit there and say, do they have something on the game? Is there something? You have to question a lot of different things, because there's no reason for that guy to sit there and say, hey, I wanted to get one early on Nashville. Why? Why would you want to get one early on Nashville? I really would love to know that. Is it you don't like them? You don't like something about the coach? Is it you had something on the game? Your buddies had something? There's a million different questions that are going to fly through the air from everybody and everything about that.
So Matt Duchene, who's on the Predators, did an interview with a radio show. I believe it was either later last night, this morning. And the comment was actually directed at the Nashville bench. He was talking to Philip Forsberg and the players on the bench, and he said Duchene said this. He said he told our bench that. So I mean, really bizarre. I just think it can't happen. Imagine the scenario where they score on that power play, we lose the game, we miss the playoffs by a point. Imagine that. That can happen, right? That can happen based on that's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think there's a place in hockey for that. You've got to call the game. I've always been frustrated when I see even up calls. Now, it's a great thing to say to the media from Duchene, and it's a little interesting that he said that to the bench, like basically insinuating that happens a lot, that open dialogue between referee and coach or players on the bench happens, and say, hey, look, we wanted to get one against you here early because of what happened in the first period or because of something we missed earlier, so we wanted to get one against you here early. If I was a player, I think I'd appreciate that honesty from the ref. I don't know if I'd love it that the makeup calls are happening, but I'd at least like to know that that's what it is.